Cape Town as a city is remarkable. It's home to about 4.5 million people, but one of the most distinguishing characteristics of it for people who live here is that it's got exceedingly high levels of inequality. And so our food system is a reflection of the kind of inequality in society. The opportunity to help make vulnerable communities, fragile communities, more resilient was something that a group of us recognized after we'd started a community garden in our own neighborhood as volunteers, starting back in 2012, and that was the Oranienburg City Farm. And from the lessons that we learned there, we realized that there was an opportunity to take these abilities, this potential of these community food gardens and help this be realized across more communities in Cape Town and potentially even beyond. The mission is to strengthen communities through food and farming, and our vision is of resilient urban communities flourishing through food and farming.
They help to bring communities together, because when you work together in a community, obviously you have to make decisions together.
It's not just about food gardens, it's about a much bigger vision. It's local, it's embedded in a community, which makes it even more relevant. And if you're looking at it through a resilience lens, you know, resilience is about building communities and about building local. So it shows great promise from a resilience perspective.
I think that the whole idea of starting this garden was really to get the community out of their houses into each other's space, to share. This is a common space where we are able to mingle, where we are able to build a community that cares, not only for themselves and their neighbors, but for the bigger community.
COVID-19 has really shown us and unearthed and uncovered the vulnerabilities and the kind of weaknesses a city has.
We're working with existing urban farms. These are farms that have the potential to play a catalytic role within their communities. And we work with them to identify what we call beneficial disruptions, things that can help them break through barriers that they face. We also work with them to identify innovative approaches so that they can leverage their urban farming resources to achieve their goals. And while we're doing all this, we're also helping connect them to existing networks of farms and farmers.
You must know firstly the society where we live. It's in Cape Flats here, where Mitchell's live. And then you must look, there is a difference between in the Cape Flats and also the people are living like in Constantia. The education system and also the way they grew up mostly. There's no farm here, there's nothing like that. For them, to get all of those things like the food, they depending like to go to buy to the shop to see, or sometimes the small stores around to the corners of the places.
It's tough in many communities, but there's also a toughness in many communities. You have to remember that in South Africa, this is a culture a society where people overcame apartheid and they've dealt with the realities of the drought and with load shedding and have carried on. With the pandemic, we've had the response of communities through community action networks where better resourced and under-resourced communities found one another, paired together entirely in a grassroots bottom-up way and found ways of supporting one another. And it helps build agency within communities. So when people come together to grow something as simple as spinach or turnips, they actually build a kind of confidence in their capacity to do things, and that confidence and that agency can be applied in other parts of life.
So in that respect, it's a very important project, not only for the city of Cape Town, but I think for other cities it can also be a lesson, or it can be a best practice example that other cities might benefit from. And this is actually the reason why the Strong Cities 2030 initiative has promoted and supported this project, and we would like to showcase it and present it to our colleagues, young politicians, urban experts from other cities around the world.